Hi everybody, thanks for stopping by. My name is FM18 and you're watching the Dafuge Challenge, episode 112, with Enfield Town FC. – 103 episodes in, and I still can't remember to set my filter properly. That's annoying as hell. Which is 40 minutes of video work, which frankly after I edit it is probably about 20 to 25 down the drain. Went to record the next episode and realized that Refer had never turned off because I didn't click it. So this is a recap of the season so far, including transfers. As you can see, we spent a decent amount of money, $46 million in. We sent $6.25 million out. On the loans, Dimitrios Vartsiotis, our Greek defensive back, went to Woking. Krzysztof Wozniak went to Schalke on loan. They actually came and asked for him, and I was more than happy to let him go. Kenar Topalogu, who is my Turkish international striker, is at Wrexham. Arnaud went to Villarreal, where he hasn't gotten a lot of playing time, but it happens. Vincent Mugwo, who, if you look on the left side, you will see we brought in from Union Douala for £400,000, is at Wrexham. Jeremy Miller, who we also brought in from the FFA Center of Excellence, is also out on loan at Woking. Colin Davis went to Peterborough. On the outs, Adrian Buxmart went to Grutherford. He was just never going to see any playing time here. He just was not a Premier level player. We got a little bit of money back for him. We brought him in on a free. He left on £100,000. Josh Grant went to Fulham. He realized he wasn't going to get a lot of playing time here. Went out for £165,000, going to £210,000 with international appearances. He's still a Jamaican international. Jurassic went to Grutherford as well for £275,000. Aaron Hammond went to Reading for £375,000. Wanjo Martin, who was at best the fifth or sixth midfielder I had, went to Girona for £750,000. Nigel Wilson, who definitely was not getting any more playing time here, went to Rotherham for £1.7 million, going up to £2.5 million with appearance bonuses and goal bonuses. And Christoph, who frankly just was not getting it done all that well on the defensive back line, went to Gladbach for $2.8 million. I did lose money on Aaron Hammond, about £600,000, but I made up for it with, Buxmeyer and Grant and Martin. Martin came in on a free. Wilson also came in on a free. And I also made a slight profit on Christoph. I may not have gotten value for Christoph or Martin, but the fact that I got above and beyond what I brought them in for, especially in Martin's case, was icing on the cake. On the ins, Jeremy Miller, 18-year-old Australian international, capped at the under-20 level, 2-star current ability, 4-star potential ability, midfielder, really good advanced playmaker, okay physicals, okay mentals, okay technicals. He's he's an under-18 player. He's here to get better. I turned around and sent him right to Woking because I know he's going to get a lot of first-team playing time there. He's in the system for 3 or 4 years. He might see some starts. If he doesn't, I know I can move him on and make a profit on him. Alan Mbam comes in from Cameroon, Cameroonian international, capped at the international and under-20 level. I realized I just repeated myself there. Plays a position I don't play, winger, but 2-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability, training him as a attacking midfielder in the center, 18 years old, decent physicals. The jumping reach and strength are really bad, but those will get better with time. His mentals are actually really pretty good. I'm working on his positioning right now. The 17 determination I love, the 14 flair, 15 leadership, 14 work rate is great. None of his mentals are bad except his positioning, and that can most definitely be improved. His technicals, his long throws are about the only bad thing there, and his marking, his tackling, well, he's an attacking midfielder. Those aren't going to be great. However, the 11 crossing is nice, the 16 first touch and 16 technique at 18 years old, those are only going to get better. I brought him in on a free. If he never sees first team playing time here at Enfield, I know I can move him out for a decent amount of money. Next up, Samuel Campiercio. I don't know. Samuel. He is the one player this year that my scouts kind of failed me on. It seems like there's one every year. When I originally scouted him, he was 2-star current ability, 3.5-star potential ability, and he comes in at 2.5-star current, 2.5-star potential ability. He's also coming off an injury as well. He's here on a rotation contract. His physicals are okay. His mentals are good where they count. His technicals, they could be better, but I do like his marking and his tackling. His crossing could use a little improvement. He comes in as depth on the defensive back line. And the fact that he's here on a free and he's already valued at £5.75 million, even if he does, he's here 2, maybe 3 years tops. And even if he's not here that long, I know I can move him and get a return on him. Sebastian Bautista is one of my steals. There's just no other way to put it. 22-year-old Uruguayan international, 14 international caps, 17 under 20 caps, 4-star current ability, 4-star potential ability. His physicals are excellent. His mentals are really good. His technicals are really good, and they're only going to get better. He's out because he pulled some knee ligaments, but he immediately comes in and takes over the defensive right back position. He is already head and shoulders better than Arnaud. The next name is one people will know. Kieran Tierney, the Scottish international, comes in as depth on the defensive back line, is here on a rotation contract. Happy to be here on a rotation contract. I am more than happy to have him because he is turning into be an excellent tutor. His physicals are falling, but his mentals and technicals are still really good. 2.5-star current ability, 2.5-star potential ability. He's a backup. He knows he's a backup. He'll get some starts. He'll come off the bench mostly. 33 years old. I can get a year or 2 out of him. I will be more than happy with that. Next in, Samal Kara, 18-year-old Turkish international at the under-21 level, 1.5-star current ability, 4-star potential ability. He is another one of those youth players I am going to either loan out to get first-team playing time at an affiliate or a lower-level club, or I'm going to stick him on the under-18 team and possibly bring him off the bench in some games as well. As a matter of fact, he's starting my next game because both my right backs, of which Tierney is the primary backup, are out injured. Good physicals. The 2 jumping reach is bothersome. Well, okay, frankly, it's hideous. I can work on that. And same with the strength. The mentals, they're pretty good where they matter. There's nothing horrible there except the flair. And then again, he's a defensive right back. What's flair exactly going to do for him? But I love the teamwork. His concentration is okay. The work rate's nice as well. Technically, he could get better. There's nothing outstandingly bad. The dribbling and the penalty taking and the free kick taking, again, he's a defensive right back. He's not supposed to be dribbling the ball. Then again, he's 18 years old. He really can't go anywhere but up. And considering I brought him in on a free, he falls into that category of if he doesn't develop here, I know I can move him on and make money on him. Harvey Palmer fulfilled a couple of boxes for me. He's English, so he doesn't count towards the foreign player cap, and he is a pretty good attacking midfielder who can also play a little bit of striker and midfielder as well. 3-star current ability, 3.5-star potential ability, 24 years old, solid physicals, solid mentals where they count, solid technicals where they count. His marking and his tackling are the only really things about him that I'm not a fan of. The one thing that does stand out to me is the 16 long shots, which means he could potentially be this year's Callum Lentil, in that he never takes a shot from inside 20 yards. We shall have to see. However, I do like his player traits. He gets forward whenever possible. He shoots from distance. He places his shots. He knocks the ball past his opponent. He's definitely going to be a tutor for a couple of younger players. Then came the money. First up, Oliver Holm, who was on Middlesbrough last year. They were relegated. He wanted out. For £5.5 million going up to £6.75 million. Swedish international, 3.5-star current ability, 3.5-star potential ability. Defensive left back, can also play left midfielder and wing back as well. And kind of sort of defensive right back. I brought him in thinking he was going to take over for Jurassic. I'd be perfectly happy if he was the full-time starter. Really good physicals. I love the agility and the balance. The strength is a little lacking, but I can improve that. As you can see, it's gone up a little bit since he's gotten here. Solid mentals across the board. Excellent teamwork. I mean, the only bad thing is the leadership, and frankly, he's not supposed to be the team leader. The technicals are good where they count. The marking and tackling could be improved, and I can work on those. I don't know why that keeps doing that after every time. Next in, Linus Wendel from Rapid Vienna for £10 million. This was an odd situation. Austrian international, 20 years old, 15 caps, 14 under 21 caps. I saw him and I really liked him. 3.5 star current ability, 4 star potential ability. I don't know why those are going down. He's gotten playing time. He's actually moved into the starting lineup as a first team player. Good physicals. The jumping reach is a bit bothersome, but then again, he's a midfielder. He's not going to be in the scrum. Okay, mentals. I love the 16 flair. The determination, the decision making are all nice. The teamwork and vision are excellent. The technicals are really good where they count. I love the 16 dribbling, the 15 passing, the 17 technique. Plays an advanced playmaker and a deep line playmaker. He is going to be a key player on this year's team. I made an inquiry, and they said there's no way in heck you are getting him. And then about a week later, I said, hey, what about £10 million? I had a £78 million transfer budget. If I'm not going to spend it and I get relegated, what good is that going to do me? I may as well spend it while I can. And if I get relegated, so be it. I know I can move a lot of these players on for money and at least break even. And they literally fell over themselves trying to get him to sign. He comes here on a first-team contract. He's pretty happy with that. He's done pretty well for us. Either it skipped, or I skipped, or I screwed something up. Vincent Mugwo comes to us from Cameroon, 21 years old, international appearances, 120 appearance. Pretty good physicals, decent mentals where they count. The technicals are lacking. I will be the first person to admit that. 2-star current ability, 4.5 star potential ability. I knew he was not going to see a lot of first team playing time here, so as soon as I got him in, I immediately turned around and shipped him out to Wrexham, where he is going to be a starter there all season. If he does not come back at least a half star better, I am going to be highly, highly peeved. About a week after I signed Samuel and Oliver Holm, this was 1 week after the other week after the other week, Paulo Vitor, who I've had my eye on for a long time, had his contract run out at FLA. 20 years old, 9 under 20 caps for the Brazilian side. 3-star current ability, 5-star potential ability. You can't really see it because the skin kind of blocks that last star out. He's a 5-star potential player. Primarily a defensive fullback. Also plays wingback. I'm training him as a fullback. Really good physicals. The 8 jumping reach is the one thing that's lacking. And even then, 8 is not that bad. Really good mentals. Love the 16 bravery, the 19 determination, 17 teamwork, 12 positioning, 13 work rates, also nice. Solid technicals across the board as well. 12 markings, 17 tackling, 20 years old. Comes in on a key player contract, £24,000 a week. He immediately moves in to the defensive left position. And I am more than comfortable rotating him and Holm out as required. He is definitely a step up over Jurassic. And then again, so is Holm. I think I've covered everything. If not, I'm going to have to go back and figure out what it is. The lone exception has been the guy we spent the most money on, Jack Millen from Watford. £25 million, possibly going up to £32.5 million. 23-year-old Scottish international, 4-star current ability, 4.5 star potential ability, central defender. Solid physicals, really good mentals, 18 aggression, 14 determination, 17 positioning. Again, he's a defensive center back. What's the 2 flair going to do for him? Okay, leadership. Everything else is pretty good. There's no red there, at least. The technicals, well, the 5 crossing is a bit worrisome. I'm not too worried about the 3 finishing and the 3 long shots. He's not supposed to get up the field and get in the scrum. He's supposed to sit back, take out attackers, and distribute the ball quickly to someone else who's going to lump it up the field. The 16 marking and 17 tackling ensures he will do that. The 10 first touch is not bad. Again, the 8 corners and 8 dribbling isn't too bad either. He has come in and it's been, you could tell, he has made a difference in our defensive back four. So we spent £46 million. We sold £6.25 million. Finance-wise, we're doing okay. Still £47 million in the transfer budget. A lot of wiggle room on the payroll and a decent amount of wiggle room on the scouting budget as well. I over-budgeted on the scouting because 2 years in a row now, I've gotten a notice about 2/3 of the way through the season that, hey, the scouting budget is empty. And last year, it was kind of a close run thing. I don't know that I mentioned it all that much, but it was a close run thing. And honestly, if it weren't for the scouting budget, I wouldn't be going out and finding all these young players, from Cameroon and Brazil who are going to be cogs in the Enfield Town machine a couple years down the road. The other financial news is we are mostly debt-free. We paid off, was it 3 or 4 or 4 or 5 loans that were used to expand our stadium since we started. This last loan is for the last stadium expansion, and we should have no problems paying that off. I did drop Carshalton as a affiliate. I just didn't really have anybody to send there, and frankly, they're, I want to say 7th or 8th division. Any players I do have I can send there, I'm probably just better off releasing. They're never going to see first team playing time here. The youth facilities are close to being completed. I still cannot get training facilities, and I'm not quite sure why. I'm wondering if it has something to do with our reputation or the fact that, honestly, I don't know. Our training facilities have been adequate for a few years now. We gained a half-star. We've got now a 3-star national reputation. I think as long as we keep performing well and getting better that way, that will definitely come up. It kind of bothers me that we're not able to upgrade our facilities. Now, a lot of results to run through. I'm going to ignore most of the friendlies. We went on a Holland tour that was nice. We made a decent amount of money off of it, and I threw on Club Brugge at the end, and they got a last-minute goal to pull it away. Middlesbrough thumped us at home. The 2-0 score isn't really indicative of how bad it was. But then again, almost every game, I rotated the entire side. We got the Premier League season off to a start at Leicester, and we drew with them, 1-1. Leicester was just better where it counted. The strikers did not have a good game. The defense did step it up. Oliveira had a 42nd minute goal. Garmendia equalized in the 52nd minute. This was the game Hahn went out injured in the 82nd minute. It was not a loss, which was good. And then next week we played Tottenham, who won the league last year. 3-0 looks bad. Goals by Baxter, Barada, and Kai Fei had a 90th minute goal that was just kind of a throwaway. But we did a good job holding our own. Tierney had an off game, Camillo had an off game, but the rest of the defense really kind of stepped it up. Tottenham could have probably had 2 or 3 more goals easy, but Hernandez had a couple of nice saves. Durante and Millen both had some key stops. We had 11 shots, 5 on target, a slight possession advantage, which was a rarity last year. Losing to Tottenham 3-0 is not a bad thing. Yeah, it sucks, but it's not horrible. And then in the Carabao Cup second round, we played Coventry, who are a League One team. This was a good game for us. To get back to our winning ways. Coe had a 10th minute goal, Hodge a 50th minute goal, Garmendia had a 62nd minute goal. It would have been a bigger score, but Coe missed a 56-minute penalty kick, and then Hayes had some really nice saves near the end of the game there. Bobby Rackstone had a goal in the 54th minute to break up the clean sheet. Yeah, it's the Carabao, but you know what? Any game you have 15 shots, 11 on target, and a pre-decided possession advantage is a good game. We then followed that up with a game at Everton, and we drew 3-3. And this was a game I really think we could have won. Yeah, Casagrande had a brace of goals in the 4th and 75th minutes. Craig Sampson had a 52nd minute goal. Durante got us on the board in the 50th minute. And Camilo had a brace goals in the 73rd and 87th minute. The last 15 minutes of this game, I don't know exactly what happened. I didn't make any shots or anything like that. But all of a sudden, the team just clicked. They had a lot of really nice passes, a lot of 1-2s. I want to say probably 5 of our 13 shots came with less than 10 minutes to play. Volkov had a couple of nice saves. Forsyth was pretty good on the defense. I think if this game had gone even 5 minutes longer, we would have scored another goal and won. It was a good performance. It really was. And then we followed that up with a win at home against Arsenal, who were 3rd in the league at the time. Everybody had a really solid game. I still don't understand what this 6-8 is for Hernandez. Arsenal had 13 shots, 7 on target. He blocked all of them. I mean, the fried-ass goal in the 93rd minute was freaking stupid as heck. They got us on a counterattack. He split the defenders. And I think Hernandez was kind of surprised he broke through because he really didn't make much of an effort to stop it. But goals by Kremer and Camilo put the game out of reach, and then Kremer got injured in the 69th minute. He's out 4 to 6 weeks with strained ankle ligaments, which I don't think is going to hurt us. Not as bad as losing both our defensive right backs because I actually have a decent amount of striker depth. But anytime you can beat the team that's 3rd place in the Premier League, a team that's been perennial top 6 for a long, long time in front of a packed home crowd is freaking awesome. So, of course, we followed that up by laying an egg against Stoke. Xavier Henry, a 10th minute goal. Curtis Jones, a 27th minute goal. Omar Villegas had a goal just before the half ended. Then Thomas Gaidu had a 70th minute penalty kick. Phil Coe broke up the clean sheet. Stoke just absolutely dominated us this game. The midfield was pretty solid, but no one else was. It was horrible. And it got worse when I realized, going back to listen to the Arsenal game, I screwed up my filter. Hence, this kind of ultra-long episode. But you know what? We are going to do the Bournemouth game on this. I want to do one live comment episode. And right now, I'm about 30 minutes, but I know I can edit a lot of that out. Believe me, there's a lot of dead space in here that I can edit out. So, I'm going to set the best 11 for Bournemouth, and we will be back with that game in just a bit. Well, today we are playing Middlesbrough in the Carabao Cup 3rd round. They were relegated last season out of the Premier League. They've got a pretty good team. They beat us twice last year. We beat them once. They're 2nd in the championship at the moment. There's a really good possibility they're going to come up again this year. But it would be nice to get a measure of revenge on them. They are favored for this game, which I'm not quite understanding, but, you know, okay. They're playing a 4-4-2, Abdellian goal, Drubic, Sanchez, Jackson, and Etheridge as the defensive back 4, Chukwu, Berg, Ryback, and Clare as the midfield 4, David and Liberato up top as the strikers. We're playing our 4-3-1-2, Hernandez in goal, Vitor, Durante, Millen, and Kara as the defensive back 4. Kara's getting the start because both my defensive right backs are out injured, at least for the rest of the week. Mew, Wendell, and Coe are the midfielders. Garmendia is the attacking midfielder with Hodge and Camille up top as the strikers. Well, we are moving right to left. Mew up to Coe to Camillo. His pass bounces off and Mew sends it into space where Jackson runs it down for Bournemouth. Jackson with a free kick up to Clare. Crosses it in. David is there, but he pushes it left. Hernandez bombs it forward, but Jackson is there for Bournemouth. Mew runs the ball down. Coe up to Camillo. Back to Cara. Up to Coe, to Wendell, to Garmendia, to Hodge. Wendell at the top of the box to Coe. Long shot. He pushes it just left. It's a good opportunity. I will say Coe likes the long shots almost as much as Lentil does, but he's a lot more accurate with them. Oh, Liberato in space. He's got a man open. David's there, and he pushes it above the crossbar. Hernandez into the crowd. Knocked down. David has it. Passes it to Chukwu. Back up into space for David. Liberato's there, and he scores. Son of a gun. Man. I don't know, we should have done better stopping that. Durante out to Cara, who sends it up to Coe. Centers it to Mew, taps up to Hodge. Back to Mew, to Coe, to Garmendia. Back to Coe, to Mew, to Garmendia. A lot of back and forth. Hodge has the ball now. To Wendell, up to Camillo. Over to Mew, taps up to Hodge. And Abdelli with a nice block. Coming up on a half hour, even game statistic-wise, except for possession. We have a decided possession advantage, but it certainly is not helping us. Chukwu to David, back to Chukwu, and Claire scores. Gee. The heck happened there? Chukwu throwing. David heads it back. The defense just when I think they're actually going to have a decent season, they go and do something like this against Bournemouth of all teams. Now, that is the half. Even game so far. We can get this back. We can get back into this. Okay, Palmer is going to come on for Garmendia. Campachero is going to come on for Durante, and Vitor is going to move over to the defensive center back position. Tierney is going to come on and replace Millen, who is on a yellow. I do not want to be a man down. Yeah, doesn't look like it's going to happen. 10 minutes left. See if we can't break up the clean sheet here. Almost no highlights the second half. We've had more shots than Bournemouth, more on target. Huge possession advantage, and it's gotten us a 2-0 defeat. Last chance, guys, come on. Yeah, nuts. Hell, and that is us out of the Carabao. I think I told him I get to the 5th round, too. That's not exactly a good thing. And my new assistant coach is just as good at T-Box as my last assistant coach. I think we're going to come back for the Chelsea game. Yeah, we're going to come back for the Chelsea game. Well, after some self-inflicted wounds, the 12th season is officially underway. Maybe third time's a charm for doing this in terms of recording and editing. I can't believe I screwed up on Reafer. It's one of those things it happens. It's very rare. You know, if you click too fast, you click in just the wrong place. But it's also one of those things that, you know, after a while, you just don't pay attention to it. And then by the time you notice it, it's just too late. That said, this season has definitely gotten off to a better start than last season. I really think a lot of the people that we brought on, especially as first-team players, are going to make a nice contribution this year. I'm also hoping that the players we had last year that are still here step up their game and improve a bit. I told the board we'd fight bravely against relegation again, and we're tipped for relegation again. I think mid-table is well within our reach. We get a couple good runs going, the defense tightens up just enough, the offense gets just a little bit better. I think finishing somewhere between 10th and 15th is definitely doable. That is my goal for this season. We'll just have to wait and see how it turns out. If you liked what you've seen and heard, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content. Questions, criticisms, comments, leave them down below. I will answer them as fast as I can. My name is FM18. I thank you for watching.